Morning. This is Crystal Swirls. I just woke up and I decided to do this quick video because this subject has been on my mind. The name of this video is Does Fat Shaming Work? Now I know you ran to this video because it's probably a subject that you want to delve into. Let's get into it. Does it work? My answer is absolutely fucking yes. Now, those of you feminists out there, or feminist-minded people, particularly women, who may want to hang me from a tree for saying what I'm about to say. But the truth is this. Fat shaming works because nothing works more than shaming someone over something that they can control. Fat shaming is as old as time itself. A woman's looks are centered around a man's sex drive. Men care about our looks because it affects their sex drive. And when you are fat or overweight, it shows that you do not care to control your visual aesthetics. You do not care what society thinks. You're not fitting the bill on what society wants you to prescribe to, which is to stay in shape, look good for a man, so you can get snagged up by a man, he can make babies in you, and life can continue as we see it. And the population will continue to thrive. You see, this rabbit hole gets really fucking deep. Women who are fat and overweight, which is myself included, we are breaking the rules of society because we are basically saying, fuck you. I'm going to eat what I want to eat. I'm not going to move as much as I want to move because I don't feel like it. I'm lazy. I don't want to tailor my looks around your sex drive. I don't want to tailor my looks around your lust, your hard on, your desire to be a better man and snag a beautiful woman, to get a better job, to start a family. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm just going to let myself go and eat what the fuck I want to eat. I don't care if it's a man's world. I'm just going to fucking eat whatever food I want, whatever fucking pie or cake or fucking cookie or goddamn big bowl of lasagna I want, and I don't give a fuck about your dick. That's basically what a fat woman is saying invisibly in the mind of all men. And that pisses men off because they're saying, okay, what the fuck are you doing? How come you're not following the status quo? We want beautiful women. We like sex. We want to be surrounded by beauty. Not fat chicks with jelly bellies and cellulite and fat rolls. No, that's not going to work for us. We want you to look good in a bikini. We want to show you off. We want you to look good on our arm. So what the fuck are you doing? Put that cake down. Put that ice cream down. You are breaking the fucking rules. This is a man's world. And bitch, you better get in line and follow the fucking orders, which is to go on a diet, sacrifice eating the things you like. We know beauty is pain, but we have hard-ons over here, and you must fulfill our desires. Get the picture? Right. So basically, a fat woman or an overweight woman is just one less woman to fuck. One less woman that they can salivate over, that they can go home and jerk their dicks over. One less woman that they can get up every morning with a smile on their face and say, I have a beautiful woman. I'm going to work and bust my ass because I have a beautiful woman to live for. So if you don't follow the status quo by staying in shape, you're one less chick that they can fuck with a smile on their face. We're not talking about fuck with, okay, I'm horny. There's only this girl that's available to me. I'm only gonna fuck a fat chick because that's all that's out here. And I got needs. So I'm just gonna settle for this. Men don't want to settle. They want the best. They want to not put that much effort into a hard on. They want what they want. Men live in a constant world of fantasies, of hot bodies, of sex, of bodies that look the way that they want the body to look. And that is not a fat girl's body. Sorry to tell you. So, when men fat shame, they're basically acting like a drill sergeant and telling you, bitch, we have rules here that cater around our dicks. So get back in line and fucking follow the rules. The rules are, you cannot let yourself go. You cannot eat what the fuck you want to eat, and you cannot be lazy. If you find yourself getting fat after you have a couple of kids, you better get it together. You better start starving yourself. You better go on that special diet. You better suck up lots of fruits and vegetables. And nope, put that cake down. No, you can't have that ice cream. No, you can't eat those cookies. Fat shaming works because it affects your self-esteem. And nothing affects someone's self-esteem more than shame. Shame is a feeling that we remember as children. It's a feeling that never leaves you. It is the worst type of feeling. It goes hand in hand with people. I would put it in the same category as hatred. That's how powerful of an emotion shame is. And, shame is stronger than telling someone, oh, you look great, you're fine, you don't need to lose weight, accept yourself the way you are. You can work on eating healthier and, doing light exercise because that's just good for you, period. But regardless of whether you lose weight or not, you're fine. That doesn't really work. That's why there's so many fat chicks. And that's why so many women are walking around fat, because of that type of mentality of people telling you that you're fine. They take away the shame. When you take away the shame, you take away the blame. And who is to blame for you being fat and overweight? A lot of us blame it on childbirth. Some of us blame it on genetics. Some of us take accountability and say, I am not as active as I should be. I don't eat the way I should. But on that note, shame is what is lacking in today's society. Fat shaming is popular because fat is seen as something that you can control. Men realize that, yeah, not every woman is beautiful. But if men could have it their way, they would have a planet full of women who do their best to stay in shape. And then they would have a palette of women to fuck. Some are ugly, some are pretty, some are not that pretty, but they all are in decent shape. That's what all men want. They want a selection of bitches they can fuck that have decent bodies. Now, if a woman works out, she stays in shape, we understand not every woman has big boobs that are firm. Not every woman has a fat ass. Not every woman has that flat stomach. But if all women work out and do their best to stay in shape, well, men would have a bigger selection of women that they could fuck. That's what this whole thing is about. Let's just be honest. This all centers around a man's penis. And what centers around a man's penis? Reproduction, the existence of society, Life continuing on as we see it. Population control. This rabbit hole gets really deep. This is bigger than, fat shaming is bigger than just putting someone down. Fat shaming actually revolves around the continuation of life, the continuation of the species, the continuation of men being happy because their dicks are happy, because their eyes are happy, because they are surrounded by fuckable women with different shaped bodies, but all these different shaped bodies in their fantasy world would be in relatively good shape. That's why fat shaming exists. It's not because they care about women or because they want you to live a better life. That's secondary. I'm not saying that they don't feel that way, but that's secondary to their dicks. Men love beauty. Men are conditioned to think with their eyes, not with their hearts. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow. And I know women don't want to hear that message. And they don't want to face that reality. But if you take the sugar off of the shit, you will realize where that smell is coming from. Take the sugar off of the shit. Let that sink in for a minute. Now, a lot of women are rebelling. And I find it kind of weird. And a part of me is kind of happy that this is happening. Because I come from a decade of growing up as a kid and seeing women throw up and become anorexic and starve themselves, particularly white girls. And, because they tried to fit into that mold of beauty that men shove down their throats. Now, we have an epidemic of obesity and overweight in this country. What does that mean? That means that men are scared. Because now women are rebelling. I'm sorry, I had to laugh. Women are rebelling and they're saying, because we took away the fat shaming. Let's just be honest about this. We took away the fat shaming and we, due to feminism, and we developed into a society of, love me for who I am, love me for how I look, the heart counts. It's all about me as a person, not the way I look. The way I look is only surface, is shallow. So we kind of developed that mindset and let women get a free pass. So what happens when you let women get a free pass? Well, you get what you got now. We have a situation here where we have an epidemic of obesity and overweight. Men as well as women, of course, but we already know about the double standard when it comes to looks, right? Okay. So with that in mind, now we have a country that is full of fat women, full of overweight women, myself included. And what does this mean? This means that men are panicking. Because what would really happen if women said, fuck you, we're not going to lose weight, we're going to eat what we want, we're going to not starve ourselves, we're just going to cut back a little bit, we're going to eat healthy, but we're also going to do what the fuck we want to do, which is eat what we want. And no, we're not going to bust our ass in the gym and starve ourselves to look good for you so you can have a selection of women to fuck that you find desirable. We're just going to live our best lives and do what makes us happy. And that's not to say that fat people are not healthy. There are fat and overweight people that do exercise, that do eat healthy. But in order to lose the weight, you got to go that extra mile, which is cutting back on your portions, which is moving more. And a lot of fat people don't want to do that. So, I know a lot of fat people, myself included, that eat healthy, that do eat fruits and vegetables, that do exercise, but not to the point where they, look the part that society wants them to look. So what happens when this happens? What would really happen when women put their foot down and say, you know what, fuck your dick, I don't give a fuck, you better learn to like fat chicks? What are you going to do then? Because right now men are panicking because they realize, oh my God, we really do have an epidemic. Oh my God, we have more fat girls than skinny girls now. They're not falling for the fat shaming anymore. A lot of women are realizing that they can still get dick, they can still get men to buy them things, they can still get married if they stay fat. And why is this happening? This is happening because there are more fat women. There are more overweight women. There are more women that are, you know, not prescribing to that pill called skinny. So now, men are settling for bigger size women, for plus size women. They're doing it not because they want to, but because they have to. Because the truth is this. Men want to fuck. They want sex. They want their dick sucked. They want a woman. They want a soft body next to them. A woman is a woman at the end of the day. So as much as men kick and scream and bellyache, if women put their foot down and say, we're not moving, we're not budging, we have an epidemic, so what? Men are still going to want women. They're not going to stop wanting to have sex. They're not going to want to stop wanting to reproduce children and have families. Think about it. Back in the 80s, we were surrounded by women that were more in shape. They were thinner. There were fat girls, don't get me wrong, but there weren't a lot of fat girls. So that put a lot of pressure on fat women to conform to the norm. But now the roles have reversed. Now they're talking about 60% of Americans are overweight or obese. So technically, fat girls and overweight girls outnumber the skinny ones. So now men are scared and they're saying, oh my fucking God. If this continues, we'll only have a selection of fat chicks to choose from. And that's exactly where we're headed. Because the ones that are skinny now, they will soon join. They will soon join the fat chicks. People get older, they put on weight. People have children. People become immobile through injury. Things happen. People simply stop trying to conform because the fat shaming bar has been set low. So if you look around you and you see everybody is fat or overweight, you can blend in. You're not going to be ostracized as much. You're not going to be fat shamed as much because most people these days have a weight problem. So where does this leave men's hard-ons? My prediction is this. Things are not going to get better. With, the government fucking with the food and putting in added ingredients to increase people's appetite, adding in things like added sugars and salts, and ingredients that fatten people up naturally, instead of leaving food in its natural state, people are only going to get fatter and fatter. So it's going to get to the point where I give it in another 20 years, a size 20 is going to be the new size 12. So it's already happening. 300 is the new 200. There are a lot of women in their 300s walking around saying that they're in their 200s. There's a lot of women in their 200s that are walking around saying that they're 180. Let's go. So, this has happened due to feminism, due to equal rights, and, due to women putting their foot down and saying, no, we're not going to jump through fire hoops. Our bodies are changing. We get older. We have children. Our bodies naturally become fatter. And if you don't like it, too bad, because we're not budging. So now men are getting desperate. And they're getting to the point where they are beginning to fat shame women. Is it working? Well, fat shaming works in the sense that the diet industry benefits from it. The gyms benefit from it. The gym memberships benefit from it. And, the beauty industry benefits from fat shaming. But is it reflective in society, in today's society, in terms of them, of fat women really, trying to go to the other side, which is skinny land? No. Once you open up that can of worms, which basically is called no fat shaming. Once that can of worms was open, it was too late to go back. And women said, oh, finally, they took the pressure off of us. Now we can eat what we want. If we gain weight, we won't be, turning anorexic or bulimic. Now we can finally relax and be comfortable. And we're not surrounded by a bunch of mean, skinny girls. Because every time you look around, you see a fat girl. So, now the skinny girls are starting to stick out. Because they are becoming more and more rare. So fat shaming, does it work? Look around you and you will get your answer. Now, from a personal perspective, fat shaming works for me. Okay? Anything less than fat shaming doesn't work for me. Because I have a typically lazy personality. I am not driven to exercise. I am not driven to do the things I need to do to change unless I'm shamed. So yeah, it works for me personally. But is it working for society at large? No. Once feminism stepped in and gave women freedom to love their bodies as they are, to accept themselves as they are, whether they're big, small, fat, skinny. Once that door was opened, it's almost impossible to close it. Once women get that taste of freedom, once women look around them and see, oh my God, she's fat like me. Oh my God, she's overweight like me. Once women started to realize, oh my God, I'm not alone. There are others out there like me. Then, it became almost impossible to go back to the way it was in the 80s. Because now, being overweight is an American thing now. Back in the 80s when I was coming up, the plus size section was like a dirty secret. It was in the back of the store, and you were lucky if you could go into a store and find a plus size section. Sometimes you had to go from store to store to store to store to see if anybody carried plus sizes. Now it's a different ball game. Now you go into every store and they have a plus size section. Sometimes at the front of the store. So things have changed. Will they ever go back to the way they were back in the 80s when men were surrounded by hot women? I'm not going to say beautiful because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. When men were surrounded by hot, thinner women, will it ever go back to being that way? No. That's my answer. This is Crystal Swirls, coming at you live and direct, making you think this morning really hard and digging really deep into this rabbit hole called fat shaming. Like, share, subscribe, and please comment. And yes, I am still on my fat loss journey, but I just wanted to drop some gems this morning. I will be doing my weigh-in on August 20th, so look forward to that. And I will see you in a future video. Bye.